Okay, so, Mark, your last chapter is about...
We're not going to discuss Trump endlessly?
Oh, no, we're coming... No, we're coming back to Trump. We're coming back to Trump. We're coming back to Trump. Believe me.
I'm just kidding. Trust me.
But I want to talk to you about the last chapter. You say a civil rights movement. Right. I happen to 100% agree with you. However, all through your book, you are making a great case for, as you say, the rising generation and the ruling generation. But the problem is, as you point out in your book, the vast majority of both of those are so apathetic and undereducated and uninvolved and willing to just go along. How does this change?
All right, listen to me. I mean this. There are literally tens of millions of us who are concerned about what's going on in this country. We don't know what to do about it. We're frustrated. We work every day. We go home. We cook our meals. We take care of our kids. We take them to the Little League, or we're trying to take care of, in college, raise enough funds to try and give, buy their textbooks or something or other. We're being taxed the hell out of. We got to make ends meet. Government is a problem, but and it's ubiquitous. But we're trying to deal with what's going on in our own families. And what I'm saying to younger people is, in particular, and by the way, Glenn, every revolution. I'm not saying this is a revolution, so don't misunderstand. But every revolution it's a minority of people who start that. I mean, as you well know, it's about a third of the people in the colonies supported the American Revolution. About a third of them supported the Crown. About a third of them didn't give a shit. So
right, and it was really only 8% that was actively involved.
Well, that's what's important to remember. So we don't need everybody. We just need more people. And I think the process, what you do, what I try to do, it's the only way to do it. Things are going to come to a head one day. It's scary. It's scary to watch a society deteriorate. It's dangerous. It's violent. They're going to come to a head one day, not because of anything you or I say or do, but because of just this rote, massive government devouring and consuming everything in its way, whether it's the culture, whether it's the economy, whatever it is. And so, the way I look at my book, there's 11 chapters. Back in the pre-revolutionary period, they used to communicate by pamphlets and sitting down at the table in the restaurant or talking to neighbors. I view each chapter as a pamphlet. I mean, they come together into a book. And then I say at the end, like I said in the Liberty Amendments, what I think we need to do from a governmental perspective, but from a, hey, let's wake up America perspective. I am sick and tired of Al Sharpton telling me what a civil right is. I am sick and tired of the left. Every one of their agenda item is camouflaged as a civil right. Global warming is now a civil right. Income equality is a civil right. No, it's not. That's left-wing kookism. A civil right is about liberty. A civil right is about prosperity. A civil right is about faith and family and national sovereignty. And for me, most of all, it's about a constitutional republic. We will define what a civil right is, and that's why I called, and I didn't know what you were involved in. I'm glad to hear it, very glad to hear it. I'm saying this needs to be a real and a vibrant civil rights movement, starting with a handful of people and hopefully moving along. But Glenn, if people don't want to be free, they're not going to be free. You can only do so much.
Mark, I have to tell you, I am glad that we're friends, and I'm glad that I know you.
I know that thanks to you, because you're a very honorable man.
Well, thank you. But it takes two. The name of the book is Plunder and Deceit by Mark Levin. I can't recommend it highly enough. Read it over the weekend, and it is really, really good. And buy 2 copies, give one to a friend. Make sure that they read it. And you're looking for the friend that is kind of on the fence. Don't worry about the dummies that are just never going to get it. Give it to the one that you're on the fence, and I know you can get this. It's worse than you think. And give it to them. Mark, let me switch gears here and talk to you a little bit about, I know you did not like the debate last week. I honestly thought that the first 15 minutes were an abomination. I thought it was some of the worst stuff, and I immediately tweeted, what is this, the Roman Colosseum? We're just getting cakes and circuses? However, I thought when they started asking the questions were tough on each individual. Where was your problem with what Fox did?
I didn't have a problem with the first question, but I thought the second question, I was sitting with a number of people, including women, and our jaw dropped, and I'll tell you why. Let me ask you guys a question. I heard you a little bit before I came on.
Yeah.
What is your takeaway from this? What's been discussed the last 4 days? Donald Trump. Oh, do you support Donald Trump? Oh, you know what he said about women? You know what? This country's going to hell, damn it. This is the Republican primary process, not the Fox News Megyn Kelly primary process. It's not about taking sides. I didn't come out and say I support Donald Trump. I don't know who I'm going to support. People can infer who I like. I'm a conservative. Now, that said, when moderators take up 1/3 of 2 hours, when we have 10 candidates there, they average 6 minutes each. We talk about informing the American people. Oh, great, they got 24 million people. Well, what the hell did they see? You know what? If a corporation wants to jack up its ratings, to sell it to their advertisers, and endlessly, day after day, over the weekend, says, we had 24 million viewers, great. That may have been your objective. It wasn't my objective. I'm not saying throw softballs, but for God's sakes, we got massive issues going on here. Oh, they did opposition research. They want to catch these guys in contradictions. Okay, we can deal with that in the Democrat-Republican debate. We're trying to sort out which conservative we want, whether in fact they are conservatives. And we didn't find out a damn thing we didn't know going into this. Now, I got to talk about Megyn Kelly's menstrual cycle now? Now, who causes this stuff? This is a joke.
But tell me what you really believe. Throw some passion behind this, Mark.
Well, I think it's outrageous. Now people are sending me clips where she interviewed with Howard Stern, where they were talking about her husband's genitalia. I mean, come on. Now, who created the atmosphere for this? Question number 2 created the atmosphere for this. Really? Well, I have a lot more questions I would have liked them to answer. Not that I'm the genius, the king of debates. I was thinking before they started, 2 hours, 10 people, how are they going to get all this in? Well, they weren't going to get all of it in. They had no intention of getting all of it in. And if they're going to push their pro-abortion agenda, they didn't ask anything about pro-life. It was all pro-abortion, pro-abortion. I'm just saying, yes, I was disappointed. I didn't like it. The New York Times liked it, and the CNN liked it. And it wasn't just me. It's people I'm sitting with who are not necessarily as conservative as I am. We got nothing out of this. And you know what else was interesting? They waited on Ted Cruz for 40 minutes. And then they asked him some question. Did God speak to you? I said, the hell? If I had been Ted Cruz, I would have said, where are you getting these jackass questions from? Did God speak to me? Why don't you ask me a question, Chris, or somebody? But anyway, I know I wasn't impressed at all.
We're getting some of that.
I got that.
Getting that feel.
Mark Levin, the name of the book is Plunder and Deceit. Buy it. It's at bookstores everywhere. Mark, as always, it's good to talk to you. Thanks, sir.
God bless you, brother. Be safe.
You too. Bye-bye. Actually say.
Couldn't quite tell. You know, he beats around the bush so much that...
Oh, man, his blood pressure. Wouldn't you just like to be a fist cuff around him all the time? Just like, okay, all right, here he comes, here he comes, here he comes.
Great. I so badly wanted to ask him what his opinion was, completely unrelated to what he was saying about Donald Trump towards the end, but does he think Canadian healthcare is working? Does he think
don't, he'll have a stroke.
I would love to have heard his response to that.
See, that's what we should be talking about. I mean, is healthcare...
He's right.
Is nationalized healthcare good? Is that really a good thing in Canada? Ask most Canadians. I think they tell you, no. I'm not really appreciating the 9-month-long wait to get into
a lot of them have gone dead
inside.
A lot of them have gone dead inside.
A lot of them are going dead on the outside too. They're just going dead.